Feel good to feel good back out there, and how do you feel?
Yeah, no, I felt good to get back out there with the guys and be out of practice. So, yeah, I'm feeling better.
Any thoughts about Sunday, about possibly playing on Sunday?
Yeah, no, definitely thought about it. We'll see how I'm feeling.
So it'll come down to maybe on Sunday type of thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
All right, on the latest episode of Things That Don't Make Sense with the Raiders, that was, I believe, Thursday or Friday before the Chiefs game. Brock Bowers like, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm out there practicing, running around. We'll see how I feel during, at game time. And he was designated as out minutes after this interview was done. So this is another case of just either it was a miscommunication or lack of communication with Brock Bowers. And it's just another case of things that just aren't running smoothly with the Raiders. Maybe Brock Bowers just kind of like didn't want to talk about it. He knew he wasn't going to play. He was already told. I doubt it. I don't know, man. It's just things just keep popping up, and I keep seeing things, and I'm not very confident in the communication happening with this Raiders team. There's a lot of things to talk about right now, even though it is a bye week. We are coming up on the trade deadline, and there's a couple of Raiders who are on the list. Some of them that are pretty obvious, some of them that aren't that obvious. And we're going to get to all that. But before we do, want to make sure everyone please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's the next way to support the channel, and it's absolutely free. And we also have the Shield Society. If you want to donate, it's $5 a month. You get the videos right away. You also get the live watch party on the games with me, and you get a chance to be on the show yourself, giving your takes and all that good stuff. Who else is going to give it to you? All right. Speaking of give you something, make sure that you check out the show on Saturday. I'm going to give you guys a couple of picks as I'm planning on it. I'm going to do my research, give you guys a couple of picks. My recommendations, again, nothing is for sure, but these are picks that I'm going to make myself on my bookie because it's the only app I use. And if you guys want to check it out, it's in the link in my description. That's my link tree with all my socials and all my sponsors. If you go ahead and sign up, use the promo code SOTO. That's SOTO. You get a little extra, little cherry on top. So go ahead and do that if you want to help out the show. Getting back to the Raiders, okay, there's some things that we need to really talk about here. Jacobe Meyers is a guy that wants to be gone, but ultimately he just wants to get paid. It's not that he doesn't want it's not that he wants to leave the Raiders. It's just he wants to get paid, and the Raiders are telling him they're not going to pay him what he feels he's worth. So, of course, he doesn't want to leave. He just wants to go somewhere where he's going to get paid. It happens sometimes with players that are on a fringe. He's not a role player. He's definitely a starter, but he's not really a star player. And when you're in that in-between mode, teams are more often than not going to pay you for the less as opposed to the more, unless you're like 24, 25 years old. Now, Jacobe Meyers isn't old. He's going to turn 30 in the 2026 season, so he's not old, but he's definitely not a guy that you want to give like a 4-year contract to for big money each year. That's the guys that are like the Pickens and all those guys who are like more flashy and younger, have more physical attributes that you would like. So this is one of the things where it might happen where Jacobe Meyers could test the market and just really not see anything that's really out there that's for him, and he might come back. You never know. Things are a little crazy out there in the NFL, but definitely something to keep an eye on. There are teams out there that are interested in a nice route runner with good hands who historically has been a good blocker, but ultimately Jacobe Meyers has let that slide a little bit this season. So I don't know, man. I would love to keep him. Honestly, I really would, because I think he's going to be a good influence on the locker room and a good influence in the wide receiver room. But he's got to do better at the peripheral things, man. Playing wide receiver is not just running routes and catching balls, man. You have to be able to read defenses. You have to be able to do yards after catch. You have to be able to block for your teammates. And it's just not something that he's doing really well right now. So some of the things that are, if I would have given like out of 5, I would say he's probably a 4 out of 5 to get traded. And it's not because he's a bad player or anything like that. It's not because he's overvaluing himself. But I think he's kind of painting himself into a corner for being so boisterous. Now, I'm not absolving the local Las Vegas media because they keep bringing it up and asking him specific questions to get those types of answers. But I understand the sentiment. He wants to get paid. He wants to take care of his family moving forward, and I understand that. And if the Raiders have told him this is what we're going to give you, and he doesn't like that, then yeah, he should be able to try something else out and try a new area out or a new contract or whatever. But if no one's giving him what he wants, what happens then? I really do think that it's going to be tough for Jacobe Meyers to re-sign with the Raiders, even after he tries out the free agent market and he doesn't get what he's looking for, just because there may be some animosity there. I hope not. I think that everyone understands it's a business, but it does seem a little bit personal with Jacobe Meyers, considering how he's playing on the field and some of the things he's letting slide. If you guys haven't, just see if you can get your hands on some replays and just watch Jacobe Meyers blocking in the run game. It's not all that good. He's a much better blocker than that. A player that's being talked about to come join the Raiders is Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen was drafted by Pete Carroll when he was with Seattle, and he's one of those mid-round, long, fast, twitchy corners that he covets. And he would definitely be, I think, our number one corner right now. Tariq Woolen is kind of falling a little bit out of favor in Seattle for one reason or another, and definitely is somebody that can be had. I wouldn't give too much up for him. I think it was a 5th-round pick. I wouldn't give anything more than that away. Maybe we can trade a player or something like that if they're looking for someone on our team, someone that's playing a spot that we have rookies that are behind it we want to see. Who knows, man? I can't even give you a name right now, but definitely Tariq Woolen is a guy that I think we should definitely look into as far as adding to the corner room. Here's another name that may not be what we want to hear. Definitely not what I want to hear, for sure. I like this guy, and I hope that he does stick around and work things out. But Jackson Powers-Johnson is a guy that, for one reason or another, has fallen out of favor multiple times. The Raiders are being really tight-lipped about this, and I'm just hearing all these things about Jackson Powers-Johnson just not getting things and not doing things the right way. He gets on the field and he plays well, then he just plays really bad. And honestly, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know why he's not at center. I believe that I understand why they like the way that Meredith plays center better, but ultimately Meredith isn't really that good of a center either. Jordan Meredith is just average, I guess, and he's ranked, I think, right around 17. And depending on how you look at these rankings, just overall consensus, he's about 17th in run and about 25th in the pass around there. So his run blocking is better than his pass blocking. He just gets moved off the spot way too easily by these inside defensive tackles. So again, man, it's one of those things where you're looking at Jackson Powers-Johnson. It just seems like he's not fitting in. He's not getting it, or the team doesn't get him, or they haven't reached him, or haven't been able to teach him, or he's not learning, or he's not willing to. Who knows what it is? Like I said, the team is being really tight-lipped about this, but there is some friction there. There is a disconnect going on with Jackson Powers-Johnson. As much as Pete Carroll says it, as much as Brandon Carroll says it, as much as Chip Kelly has said how much they like Jackson Powers-Johnson, there's something going on here because, he's getting benched in games. He's sitting some other games. He's always being told that he needs to compete for his job. And I don't know, man. It's just a rough situation here. It might be a situation where they're trying to fire him up by telling him he needs to compete for his job, but ultimately, I don't think he's getting really that much better technique-wise. His footwork is still kind of sloppy, and he keeps getting beat on the point. Now, again, this was Chris Jones beating him, but he was beating him pretty bad. It wasn't even stalemate. So we got to figure something out. For someone as powerful as Jackson Powers-Johnson to be thrown around like that, it just can't happen. Well, he's a guy that's in rumors to be traded. I wouldn't give him too much of a trade. I think he's about out of 5, maybe a 2 out of 5 to be traded. Something that is possible if we were given a good deal. I wouldn't take anything less than what we used on him, which is a 2nd-round pick. If you use anything less than that, you're basically saying that the pick was wasted and you get what you can for him. But no, I wouldn't do a 3rd-round pick for a guy that you got in a second just a couple of years ago. So another story I want to take a look at is the league meetings are going on right now for the owners in New York, and Roger Goodell was front and center, and the Jon Gruden NFL lawsuit was brought up. And Roger Goodell was asked directly, what's going on with Jon Gruden? Can he coach in the NFL? And he said there is no way that he can stop Jon Gruden from coaching in the NFL. I mean, it leaves the door open, but I wouldn't say it's like a for sure thing that Jon Gruden is going to be back in the NFL. I think he likes it at Barstool. I think it kind of gives him the ability to be what he was on Monday Night Football, but also be more of himself and not be so corporate because he's on a network television. So now he's able to do it more freelance and say what he wants to say and be a little bit more off color and stuff like that because it's more of a streaming based thing. Ultimately, this lawsuit does not look good for Roger Goodell, and it does not look good for the NFL. Here's one thing. If Roger Goodell and the NFL is dead set against letting this lawsuit go to discovery, they're going to have to pay him out. And I don't know that Jon Gruden is going to accept any money at this point. On top of that, I'm not too sure how willing the NFL owners are going to be to give Jon Gruden a bunch of money to not talk. I don't know, man. It's a lot of moving parts going on right now. But what we know for sure is Roger Goodell has said it publicly that he cannot stop a team from hiring Jon Gruden. Now, would that leave the door open for some things to miraculously happen against the team that does? I mean, who knows? Stranger things have happened, right? I mean, as of right now, I would say that the door is unlocked. I wouldn't necessarily call it open, but unlocked. It's still closed. Someone has to open it for Jon Gruden, but definitely anyone can just walk up and do it if they want to, according to Roger Goodell's words. I don't know if he's full of it or not. Who knows? He probably is, but about this, I don't know. Ultimately, we'll have to see what happens. The discovery is getting closer and closer. Now, the NFL has not pushed the previous petition that was passed 7-0 in a Nevada court to allow Jon Gruden to sue the NFL and also go through a public discovery, but they might push to the Supreme Court and see what happens there. But ultimately, there's no basis, I don't think, for the NFL to keep this under wraps. It should be open because Jon Gruden is no longer an employee of the NFL. And yeah, man, once it gets to discovery, all this stuff is going to come out, and we'll see if it was a hit job or not, which I think we all know it was. All right, guys, that's my time for today. I really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's the next way to support the channel. It's absolutely free. We also have the Shield site, like I was talking about. It's only $5 a month. If you want to join it, great. That's awesome. I would love to have you. If you can't, if you don't want to, that's fine too. I'm still going to give you a video every single day. But I'm going to ask you guys to do one thing for me, okay? Tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world is the greatest thing going in Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.